Hey family, hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing? I am sitting here still in Mexico City, enjoying my vacation, if that's what you want to call it. Actually, was helping my daughter, a friend of mine, move. How about that? And new little Starbucks. I'm here at Starbucks right now, and they have an amazing lemon cake. Have some. It's wonderful. Here, have some, you guys. I want to come on for a few minutes and try to use up a little bit of their Wi-Fi because our Wi-Fi, depending on where you are in the city, depending on where you are, it sucks. Not gonna be on here long. I did live the other day. Privilege. Okay, I had to redo it. Mm, 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 that's so good. I know I'm being rude, but that's okay. How you guys doing? I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm gonna go in here and check and see if you guys can hear me. I've been trying to do some lives, but it's not been working very well for me. So I thought today I was out and about, and I thought maybe I'd do one real quick just to see if it's pretty good. As you come in, y'all like and share, and kind of help me out with this live and make sure I'm not buffering here or not. I want to come on here and talk a little bit about this privilege that so many Haitians and Caribbeans um, and Jamaicans who come to America, and they tell us that we're privileged. Let me first give you a definition of privilege, and you tell me if this is us or not. Privilege is it means a special right, advantage, or immunity granted or available only to a particular person or a group. Education is a right, not a privilege. And that is what one of the young ladies was saying. And I'm going to show you her video. She said that the Black Americans here in America are privileged. And she continued to talk about the educational system. And I keep telling her that education for us is a right and is not a privilege. And I'm going to show you just a little bit of her video here that I saw on TikTok. I hope I can pull it up and pick it up because I want you guys to help me to understand if I'm looking at this wrong or not. And it was really funny, uh, the video, and I want you guys to help me out here. It was a while back. I hope I can pull it up though. And she was telling us that Black people here in America are privileged because we get free education and we get free this, free that. And I'm like, girl, education is not a privilege, it's a right. And I began to tell her that my children, who are college graduates, they have to pay for their education. And she's trying to tell us that we're privileged and we are being selfish because we are saying that we're not. And I want you to hear it, and then you guys can come to me and help me to understand. Maybe I'm hearing it wrong, but I think that privileged people are not people that live under a systematical system of racism. Privileged people are not people whose children are getting murdered by police. Privileged people are not people whose homes, land was stolen back in the Jim Crow era. Privileged people are not people who have their properties taken, uh, towns destroyed, Black Wall Street. That's that's not privilege to me. Privileged people are not people um, who have to. I'm just hold on, you. I just need you guys to help me to understand what she was saying because I'm looking at it one way, and I think because she came from um, Jamaica, I think it was, and I see a lot of Haitians, Jamaicans, Caribbean people, Haiti people, foreigners, immigrants, I call them. And not to be disrespecting my brothers because I love them too, but I hate when they come over here and they are so brainwashed to colonization that they begin to look at us different. They begin to look down on us. They begin to look at us as we're spoiled here. And I look at a spoiled child is a child that gets their way. A spoiled child is a child that has everything. A spoiled child is a child that wants for nothing. Every beck and call we get. That's not what's happening here to us in America. And I think um, they're trying to compare their third world country, which is Haiti and Jamaican, to America, and they have something to compare it to. I guess if I was coming from Haiti or Jamaica, I would say yes, Black Americans are privileged, but we here in America don't have that to look. We don't have that comparison, so I can't look to them and say, "Hey, you guys are privileged because you got the experience." Blah blah blah. I don't say that. I look at them and I say, "Okay, coming from where you're coming from, you can't speak for us Black folk here in America because you didn't experience what we've experienced." But you seem to think that you can come over here and look down on us when you came from nothing. I'm not trying to say anything, I'm not trying to be mean, but it bothers me when I'm hearing what's coming out of their mouth. They're so judgmental of us, and they have an actual hatred. Some of them, I'm not saying all of them, because I do have some African friends, some of them come to us and they are so hateful. And even here in Mexico, I've seen a couple of Black people. And you're so glad to see one here, but that one look at you and will turn their head and refuse to speak. And I'm like, man, what is going on here? When you go to different countries, you guys, they still see you as Black. They don't see me as a Black America until they see my passport. They don't see me as, they just see Black. They don't look at the Haitian and say, oh, that's a Haitian American, a Haitian. They don't look at the African and say, oh, that's an African. They don't know. They look at us and they see BLACK. So when I see Black folk that I run across, and I'm looking at them, and I'm so excited to see them, and then they look at me like, what the, what you, they're so angry and mean toward their own. And I feel so sorry for them because they have swallowed the Kool-Aid. Yes, and I'm going to talk about us, dating outside our race, and I'm going to talk about that too, because from what I'm seeing, we 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 have to do better. We have got to do better. I mean, we have women and men that are drinking this Kool-Aid, where we thinking that white men are better than our own, or a white um, woman is better than your own women. Which is so far from the truth, that you guys are brainwashed and you guys are drinking their Kool-Aid. And I seen the TikTok the other day where this young lady was talking about driving Miss Daisy, and how driving Miss Daisy impacted us, because all we see and we've been brainwashed to believe is that um, we've been brainwashed to believe the stereotype as far as our men will go out and protect the white woman. And that's true, because that's all they see on TV. They see Hatch, or with the one with Will Smith. He's playing a character where he's defending this white woman or protecting a white woman. And that's what they see. And we as Black folk have swallowed the Kool-Aid to believe that that's what our men are here to do. Our men have swallowed the Kool-Aid to believe that that's what they're here to do, and they're here to do nothing but protect white women. And when it comes to their Black woman, they will leave us out in the cold in a minute. But I want us to understand. I want you to help me to understand that we better get it together. Haiti, Caribbean, Jamaican, African, and Black folk in America. We better get our crap together, and we better get it together quickly. I don't understand something. We look to see, and we going against each other and have so much negativity against each other. But when it comes to us really understanding that, I look at the Jews and I look how they were down at the bottom at one time in their life. And I look at China, and China was a third world country. And look at China today, and I'm saying, what did they do that Black folk can do today to get themselves out of the rut that we're in? They work together. I am here in Mexico, right? I don't see one Chinese business here. All I see from block to upon block upon block is Mexican people having their own businesses. And I mean, they got them all up and down the street in tents. They got them in coverings. They have them all. And I did a video, and I'm going to show that too. And I'm telling you, I don't see one Chinese business here in Mexico. Why? Because they won't support them, which is what we need to do. But when we go into the Black neighborhoods, I see nothing but Black folk. supporting Chinese businesses and complaining when they don't know how to treat you. I look at the Mexicans and I say, man, look at these people. These people, I mean, they working together. They got it going on, and they doing it. They making it happen for themselves. They not waiting on white folk to do nothing for them. They not waiting on anybody to make life good for them but them. And I'm gonna tell you what, if a Chinese person did set up here, they wouldn't make it because they're not gonna support them. We can learn something from them. They support their own. If I came here and opened up a business, I don't think they would support my business because they have been taught to protect, to support their own. And we black folks, we need to learn this. We really should be learning this because this is crazy. How I look around and I look at all these businesses, and I mean, even though they're still, um, I'm not going to even say they're doing bad because I think anybody in their own business is doing really well. Okay. Because they're making that thing happen. I don't care if they got 50,000 restaurants. They may have 50,000 on each. They may have 5 restaurants right next door to each other, serving the same food but cooking it a little different. And they got so many Mexicans in Mexico that they can afford to do that because they can go to this restaurant one day and go to here the next day, and they're like 6 restaurants in the same block, and they're still in business. Okay, and some of them been in business for years. And people say, well, how is that possible? Because they are supporting their own. That's how it's possible. And guess what? When I come down here and I spend my money, I'm supporting them. But we can learn something from that, family. We have got to do better. But I wanted to stay on this topic where, and I was kind of still looking for this video where this young woman said that we here are spoiled and we're privileged. Black folk, I'm saying. And I'm looking at her, I'm saying, lady, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna tell you what. Ain't nothing privileged about us. Hold on. Hold on. I'm gonna see. I'm trying. I'm trying. I promise you, I'm trying to get this video up because I want you guys to hear this video. If I can pull it up. Hold on. Let me see. Uh, is this the one? Hold on, you guys. I'm gonna have to turn it up a little bit. Their accents doesn't make anything right. No, hold on. That's not it. I'm telling. Okay, this is the one. I'm gonna let you guys see this, and you guys help me to understand something. The way y'all are acting like white people is blowing my mind. I'm gonna say. Oh shoot! Hold on. Hold on, family. Hold on. Hold on. Say it again, and I'm gonna say it as many times as I want to. Because baby girl, this is my page. Hold on. Being born in America, a first world country, is a privilege. This is not about perception. This is not about. It's a fact. America has social programs as simple as free education that are not things that are afforded elsewhere. Yes, in other countries, people literally have to pay to go to school. They have to have the money to become educated. That's not an issue that Americans have. Schools are free here. Small things like that are a privilege. You're describing police brutality and racism as though these things do not exist outside of the US of A. They do. And even if they didn't, those things do not negate the fact that you live in a first world country and you have other privileges. I don't want to believe that y'all are stupid, but y'all are not giving me anything else to go with. The way y'all are acting like wait. Okay, that's what I wanted. I wanted you guys to see this because this young woman is from Jamaica, and she talks about how her family members hate black people. I'm not understanding why this is going on in these different continents, as far as Jamaica, Haiti, Africa, but I've seen it. And I'm not saying all, because not all black folk treat each other like dirt. We do have some that are colonized mindset that won't come together, we won't support each other. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the Haitians that come over here that's already been vetted. They're not going to let just anybody come over here. You know that, right? So you have Haitians, you have Africans coming over here who hate black Americans. That's who they're allowing over here. And now you have them running for offices that we know that this little justice person that Biden is putting up, you know that she's not going to do anything for black people, right? Biden's not going to put anybody up there and I think it's one of them judges, right? He's not going to put anybody up there in that seat that's going to support black people. You have to understand that anytime they get a black person in one of their offices, that black person is not going to support another black person. Obama, for instance, we voted him in. They vetted him for us. They put him in front of our faces, and they told us to vote for him. We voted for him, thinking, "Oh my God," we were blinded, thinking, "Oh my God, we got a black man for president. He's going to do something for black people." He couldn't wait to write an executive order to them crackers when they killed Trayvon Martin. He couldn't wait. Everything he did, black folk lost more property and more wealth with a black man in office. And then Mitch McConnell had the nerves to come to us and tell us that Black Obama was our savior. Dude, are you freaking kidding me? Obama was not a savior for me, okay? Obama was not a savior. He did nothing for us. They put him up there, and then they can say, "Oh, we did something for black people," and that's what they do. They always gaslighting us. They always put blackface in there that have a white supremacy mindset. These are people that they vetted, people that they created, people that they mentored, people that they taught how to think and speak and talk like them. These are people that we're looking up to. Why don't we get our own political party instead of us voting Republican or Democrat for people that they put in front of us, our faces, and tell us, "Oh, he's dangerous. You need to get him out of office." Then we vote for somebody else that's just as dangerous as what we had in office, but he's only throwing the rock and hiding his hands. I'm just saying. But we don't sit up here and think about that. When they put a person and they vet a person and they put that person in front of us and say, "Here, these are the people that you're going to vote for," these are not people. These are not black folk. These are not people that's married to black people. These are not people that think black. These are not people that's like me, that's going to be one, that's going to have our back. These are not people that's going to do anything for black people. Okay? These are not people that's going to do anything for us. Why? These are people that's going to um, these are people that's gonna think white, that think white, and they want to come together and do for immigrants, to do for everybody but black people, or they want to call us people of color. Please, y'all, please help people understand. When y'all see black folk calling people black folk, other black folk people of color, please correct them. We are not called people of color. We are called black people. People of color is immigrants. People of color is Mexican. People of color is anybody but black people. When they say people of color, they're not talking about you. They are talking about immigrants. They are talking about Haitians. They are talking about hunchbacks. They are talking about Mexicans. They are talking about anybody but black Afghanistans. They are talking about anybody but black people. So I want us to get to the point where we can understand what's really going on here. So when I hear this young lady say that we are privileged, I understand kind of sort of what she means and where she's coming from, because all she is looking at, she's comparing Jamaica, Africa, and the Caribbean to America. Okay, she's comparing what we have here and what we should have here. But I keep trying to help her to understand this, babe, girl, you cannot come over here and tell us anything about America. We were born here. Our family was born here. We go through this every day. We were raised up in this integration. We were raised up in a mess. We were raised up in this confusion. And a lot of black folk have swallowed the Kool-Aid, and they're confused, just as confused as anybody else. They are confused as the next person, and they think that we've made it. Anytime I hear a black person say that we're free, we can do anything we want to do in America. We got this and we got that, and I'm looking at them like, dude, you don't get it, do you? You don't get it. Before Martin Luther King came and integrated us with these devils, with these snow bunnies, with these snow cave people, we had 200 cities. We had our own land. We had our own homes. We had our own hospitals. We had our own everything. When we integrated with him, we lost everything. So was that a plus for us? When he told us that he thought he brought his people into a burning building, he was just waking up. But Martin Luther King to me was one of those rolling ones. He was one of those coons. And then he started to wake up. And when he started to wake up, that's when they killed him, because they was using him at first, using him to bring us into their educational system. But we don't even understand the harm of us coming into their educational system. We have allowed enemies to educate our children, and this is why black people think the way they think. Do you see the Jews allowing the Germans to educate their children? No, the black folk allow enemies to educate theirs. Why? Tell me, why do we do that? Why? Until we start educating our own children, nothing is going to change until we take it upon ourselves to free us. We are looking at everybody else to do for us. Everybody else, nobody else is going to do anything for us. They hoping that we could stay asleep. They hoping that we vote Democrat again. They hoping that we go to the Republican Party. Because guess what? Neither party is going to do anything for us. We're still waiting on a bill, the George Floyd bill to pass it. They told us, oh, we can't do it. But Biden said, hey, I'm going to do something about police brutality. And then when he got in office, he told you, oh, we can't do nothing about that. We're going to let Congress do that. We're still waiting on an anti-lynching law. We've been free since what, 1860? Well, I don't even want to say free. We've been experiencing another part of slavery since 1865, right? And people say, oh, we've been free. We're not free. Look at your prison system. And this is why I keep telling this young woman, look at our prison system. Our prison system has more, excuse me, of our black men in it. And we know who's the most violent. White men are the most violent, but who get no jail time. But then you look around and a black boy will get 65 years, 45 years. I just seen a little black boy who got 45 years for doing an a non-violent crime. But you had these white boys shooting up schools. I've done several lives about that, shooting up schools and doing some anything and everything, and they get a slap on the hand. And until they kill their whole family, until they shoot up a school, until they murder 9 people in the church, then they get time. But until they do something drastic like that, them white boys who are the most violent, and you can look it up, who are the most violent, they get the less time. And black men, I'm looking at, are the least violent, but they get the most time, and they are the most in jail population. Why? We're gonna talk about that too, because we as black folk, when we say black on black crime, what are we talking about? There's no black on black crime. You have Asian on Asian crime. You have German on German crime. You have white folk on white folk crime. You can see that who's shooting up schools. They're not coming in our neighborhood shooting up our schools. They shoot up their own schools. But nobody talk about white on white crime. We're so busy coming against each other, which is sad. But we're gonna need each other. These coming months, we're gonna need each other. And we better have it together. Because I'm gonna tell you what, if we don't have it together, because we're getting ready to go to war. Does anybody really understand that? We are getting ready to go to war right now. We're getting ready to go to war, and people don't even understand. We're so busy talking about the Haitians, and we're talking about how privileged we are, and we talking about Haitians come over here, and Jamaicans come over here, and they speak bad about us because they've been brainwashed to believe what? That we are privileged, that we've been here so long and we're stuck, and we should have so much more like the white folk have, but they don't understand the system that's been set up against us. But they're looking out. They're outside looking out and trying to peek and trying to understand what's going on inside. That's just like me standing out here, and I see a couple across from me, and I come to them and I try to talk how great that couple is, and that woman looking at me and saying, you just don't even know what goes on in my house. The same way with Haitians and the immigrants that come over here and call us privileged. You don't know what's going on. You don't know. You didn't grow up over here. You didn't grow up in all this hatred. You didn't grow up in the Jim Crow era. You didn't grow up in all of this mess that we've grown up in. Land being taken. We've literally been robbed because having different contracts that they've had previously, bank loans and stuff that knew that the interest was so high that they weren't even going to be able to pay their house note, that the house was just taken. Or just stuff that was done to black people. Like for instance, the New York Central Park, that was a black neighborhood. Did you know that they actually took and made a park out of it? But this is what MLK did for us. We had over 200 cities when he came, and he said, "Oh," but he told us, he said, "Oh, let's integrate. I had a dream that one day we're gonna do this, that, and the other." That dream has been a freaking nightmare for black people. But we didn't understand. We trusted him the same way we trust in black faces now. Oh, who's this? The messenger. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I just want people to understand that it's not always about a face that look like mine. It's not always our kinfolk. But we're not understanding it. We're looking at these people and thinking like Roland Martins and all of these people that seem to have a huge audience, and they're black. And when you really listen to what they're saying, they're talking against they're They're talking, for instance, I've heard one, and I'm not even gonna say his name because it really bothers me. And he's got a YouTube channel, and it bothers me because he acts like he's for black people, but then he has another channel that talks about against black women. Hold on, you can't talk out of both sides of your neck. You can't do that. You cannot have a show talking about black folk, but then you're not coming up with a conclusion to the matter. Bakari, welcome, 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 welcome. You cannot talk about black folk and then turn around and have another show that's talking about black women. We got to stop this, and we need to hold these people accountable. We're not holding these people accountable. Why aren't we holding people accountable that we see that's talking against black folk themselves, our own? Why are we not like Cynthia G? I've seen her channel. That woman is terrible. She hates black men, and her audience is crazy. And I'm like, why is it when white supremacy can support your broadcast, you'll grow to thousands of people and you're making money, they're paying you, but black folk is supporting you and you're going against your own people? Why? And we allow this. We allow people like her, Candace Owens. We allow them to come in our black audience and talk against black men. We allow this. Why aren't we shutting this stuff down? Just like I was shutting this immigrant down, the Jamaican girl who was talking about how privileged we are. Girl, do you not know the hell we've gone through in this country and still going through today? Does she not know how horrible how black men are treated on these jobs? We have to understand that it's going to take us freeing us. We can't come over here and allow immigrants to come over here and tell us how grateful we should be for white supremacy. I already read y'all the definition of privilege. Like, let me read it again so you can help me to understand if they talking about black folk when they say we're privileged. I'm gonna read this again. A special right, advantage, or immunity granted or available only to a particular person or group. Is that talking about us? Yes, yes, but Brother Kari, you're right. But she comes over here, and a lot of these foreigners are coming over here doing this. They're saying they're looking down on us. They come from nothing. Okay. And they look at us, and I've heard them say, you guys should be farther along than you are. And I'm looking at these people and I'm like, how are we supposed to be farther along than we are when we try to have our own country, cities, and it was burned to the ground? We've had that. Black Wall Street. But did it not burn to the ground? Do you remember the 1912 riots, the New York riots, the St. Louis riots, the Greenville riots? These are all riots that were started by white folk. And I'm talking low because I'm in public, okay? These are riots that were started by white folk to burn down our cities. And you want to come to me and tell me that we privileged? If you don't sit down somewhere, honey, I'm not trying to be on here all day because I had to come on to talk about this privilege thing because it bothered me so bad. And you had a lot of her Haitian people that was saying, yes, I agree with her. And I'm like, you cannot come here and tell me about my experience being born in America, born and raised. I had black grandparents, black great great grandparents, and even great 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 grandparents that was in slavery. So you cannot sit up here coming from Haiti, coming from Jamaica, coming from Africa, and tell me how good I had it. We have police brutality that's still staring us in the face. How good is that? Yes, 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 yes. You're right, Bakari. Yes, you're right. And I'm telling you, those shows gonna be top notch. Cynthia G, top notch. Jason Black, top notch. And I'm not going against my brother and sister, but I'm just trying to help you guys understand that it's so sad because we as black people are not recognizing who our true fans are. We are not recognizing that some of these people that's coming on here talking about our men and dogging our black kings out, they are not good for the black community, and we should not be listening to them. And guess what? And you know what? The messenger, they allow them in here because they've already vetted them and they know that they have been colonized and they know that they have the mindset against their own and they know that they're going to come in America and they're going to dog black folk out because I've seen it. Yes, they are. and they have a white supremacy mindset. I'm not going to even say all of them because I know some that are very good and they think black, but then you have black folk that think the same way they do. And we were born here, and you'll sit up there and talk about how free you are, and then you'll sit up there and talk about your black men and then talk about white men better than a black man. How is that possible? They must have seen my lives where I said they're still dangerous. Check my YouTube page out. And I have a video on there of how they've treated their black women. These white men, they get these white black women and they either murder them. You just had one that went on a date. She met a white guy on YouTube. No, I'm sorry, on a dating site. The girl came up dead, okay? Went on one date, went back to his apartment, and she came up dead, okay? I'm just saying. But you want to tell me that those cave beasts are better than my black kings? Are you out of your mind? Don't come to me with that. You got the wrong one. I will never agree with that. And I will check every black woman that I see on TikTok that's sitting up there promoting one of them white cave devils. And you want to tell me that they better than my man. You got me twisted. I'm not one of them, honey. I don't drink that. I ain't drink that Kool-Aid. I will never drink that Kool-Aid. But you have to understand what's going on. And society, America, has always been against our black men. And what they're doing now is trying to highlight white men because they need you to survive, black woman. They need you, black men, to survive. They need your blood. They need your sperm. They need our uterus to incubate them demons and devils that they're giving birth to. Because black folk are genociding themselves and not even understand what's really going on. They got you believing that they so great that you will talk about your own. You'll uncover yourself to marry one of them cave devils, one of them cave beasts, and then you turn around and have a baby by him, and you think you got something, but you ain't doing nothing but creating your own. You create enemies for my granddaughter. You create more of them because they need us right now to survive because their men have low birth rate, low sperm count, and those white women and some of these black men are marrying these white women. They can't even have babies. They need us to survive, and we so dumb that we will go against our own. And it's not just here in America. Haiti, Jamaica, Caribbean, they hate themselves over there. That they fight against themselves, and they'll go out of their way to help a white person. I've been in the airport where an African will go out of his way to help a white woman, and I'm standing there and come to me with attitude. I checked that attitude right there, bruh. Let me call you out on it. I've seen it. I've had to check some of these Africans at the airport because I'm doing a lot more traveling. Because I keep telling you I'm moving, but I'm trying to find out where I want to go. But my thing is, I've checked out these Africans at the airport, and this one African man, this white woman came up after me. He was helping me. He not only stopped talking to me, turned to her and started talking to her. He had the huge, biggest smile in America that he could have for her. And I'm looking at this. I'm checking it out. I ain't say nothing. But when she left, I checked him. Let me tell you something, brother. You stop acting like that with these white women. It's so sad that he gave me attitude, but then he turned around and gave her the biggest smile that he could, and totally disrespected me and started talking to her. And I didn't say nothing right then. I just waited till she left, and then I tore him another butthole. You know I did, right? I said, see, this is what's wrong with us. We don't have no love for each other. You sat up there and you gave that woman the biggest smile you could, but you didn't even me. You gave me anger. You gave me a little rage. You had a little attitude with me. But then when that cave beast came up there, what happened? He couldn't wait to smile and show all his teeth. And this is sad. This is what I'm finding out with a lot of immigrants, and I'm hoping y'all got to do better when you come over here. And I'm not saying all. I'm not saying all because we got some black folk that do the same thing. Okay, that I can go in a store and get the worst attitude from them, but let a white person come up there and they get the biggest smile, and they're ready to go out of their way to help them and to service them. But when it comes to us, your own, you want to give us attitude, look crazy with us. We got to stop. Because I'm gonna tell you what, these people are still dangerous. They still hanging you if you have not noticed. These women that's marrying these white guys are coming up missing. They're coming up dead. Okay, these black men that are messing with these white folk. Okay, that's like Peter Spencer, right? We know. Let's look at that Peter Spencer case. Peter Spencer he went hunting with he had a coworker. Coworker asked him to go hunting. He said, okay. He got there. It was like three other men and a woman. So it was five of them. They took this dude hunting. You gonna go by yourself hunting with some white folk? Are you out of your damn mind? You don't go nowhere. You're that's a soft target. They knew he was a sellout. That's why they invited him. Do you not know they shot that man 9 times? One was in his mouth. They had six in his torso, two in his butt, and one in his mouth. Okay, or could they said it either was in his neck that came out his mouth because it was off in the back. So I'm assuming that it came. They shot him in his back of his neck and it came out his mouth. But he trusted them enough to go hunting with these cave beasts. Black folks stop going and hanging out with these cave beasts, and I don't understand how we see the news every day, right? We see them hanging. We see the news every day. It's not like you don't understand. But then when I hear people say, "Oh, they still doing that to us in 2022," where are you at? Aren't you watching the news? You don't understand what's really going on. How could you sit up there and say, "Oh, they still doing that in 2022"? You're not watching the news. You going out knowing what they're doing. You knowing what they're doing. You know what they're doing. You can see it, but you still insist on what? Dating them and bragging about it and bragging on them. Tell me they better than what you've ever had. Excuse me, really? These are the same people that shoot up schools. These are the same people that will shoot up Walmarts, shoot up churches, hang it. These are the same people that when back in the day they cut the baby out of the pregnant black woman, hung her, cut her baby out, and then stomped the baby's neck. Then stomped the baby when the baby hit the ground. These are the same people that hung our ancestors. They called it a picnic. That means do y'all really understand what picnics mean? Picnic, da da da. That's what a picnic is. Are you serious? These are the same people that are doing stuff even today. And you trying to tell me that they're better than my black king? Are you kidding me? What is wrong with us? We done lost our mind. We have forgotten, and that's the part that bothers me. When I come on and I try to talk to people and tell them about different cases that I'm seeing that's happening, I have it on my go look at some of my videos, especially the ones that say they're still dangerous. I did one last week that talked about how when they come to us and we die, just like the little 15-year-old came up dead. The 15-year-old that had a knife in her hand, and how many black folks saying, "Oh, she should have died because she had a knife in her hand." I showed you how many of theirs have guns shooting at the police over 200 rounds and still live and are taken into custody and not dying. But you trying to tell me that every time we do something, we end up dead. It's okay. Y'all got some white supremacy mindset going on, and y'all need to be delivered bad. Let me read some of these comments because I'm seeing Mr. Zachary. The messenger. Let me see what you're talking about. You asking me my FBA? Hold on, let me read some of the comments. Hold on, y'all. Let me read some of these comments because I've been talking, so I've been missing some comments. Yes, of course I'm FBA. I am yeah, I am. Bakari. I am talking about immigrants, and I'm not just talking about immigrants. I'm talking about black folk that also think that they have not been sold out to themselves. They've sold out to white supremacy. I'm talking about both. Okay, and I am FBA, ADOS, FBA, all of it. My focus so far should have been, if you're hearing what I'm saying, the messenger, I am talking about all of them. Talked about Candace Owen. I talked about Cynthia G. I'm talking about other people that are acting like we have forgotten who these cave beasts are. But right now, I'm trying to talk about how immigrants are coming in and talking about that we are privileged. Okay, that is my focus right now. I don't want to get too off into the comments and stuff, but I want us to keep focused into what I'm saying and how different ones will come to the country and tell us that we're privileged. How is it being privileged is not dying in the streets? Being privileged is not our children being shot dead and nobody comes up on no charges. Being privileged is not being able to own land without a hassle, or owning a home without a hassle, or you giving me $25,000 and telling me that I have to go and live in a drug infested neighborhood. Hold on, you guys. I'm out in public, so I don't want to be coughing and people thinking that I got whatever. You know how it is. You can't even cough nowadays without people looking at you like, oh my God. Y'all bear with me, you guys. I'm outside sitting. Um, Yes, Brother Bakari, let me know. My email, I'm gonna put my email in here. If you guys want to get together and do some work together, ARDTRETHZ12 at gmail.com. That is my YouTube, that's my email. So if you guys want to contact me, you can. HARD okay, Truths12. That is my email. So I'm not reading a lot of the comments right now because I want to stay focused. Because I really want to help you guys understand that there's nothing privileged about America, Black folk in America. We are struggling and we are seriously dying um, over here. We are seriously fighting for our lives here, and we are actually just not. We're not living life. We are surviving. We're in survival mode right now. So I don't call that privilege. I don't call people that got to get up. And I've been looking at the job market, okay? And I'm telling you what, a whole lot of our black men are not being employed. A whole lot of our black men, if you don't have your own business, they are unemployed. If you guys have not noticed that, you guys going into these McDonald's, who do you see as managers? Like we used to see black folk, we used to see white folk, we used to see black folk, now we see Mexicans. I'm just saying, we have to understand what's really going on. They're not hiring a lot of black men like they used to. They'll hire the black women because they want the narrative to say that, oh, black men are lazy, black men don't work, black men want their woman to take care of them. You have to understand the scenario of what's really happening here. They want to make our black men look as bad as they can. And I'm telling you what, people in other countries, they are hearing the media. Whether that's true or not, they see the media, and that's what they're putting on the TV. So therefore, when they see black folk, they think they're hearing the narrative. They're not even allowing us to give. They're not even coming to meet us and get to know us. They're hearing what they hear, and they automatically assume that what they're hearing on the media is true. We have to understand, and we have to begin to come together. And I'm with y'all. The next time y'all see these Africans, y'all wave at them and speak to them. If they don't speak to y'all, y'all check them because it's time for us to come together as a group. It's time to come together and support one another. It's time for us to come together because we all we got. I'm gonna tell you, y'all waiting on the white supremacy. Y'all keep talking about voting rights and all this stuff. Y'all voting for white supremacy. We're not supposed to be voting for white folk to be on top of us, but we've got the mindset that we're supposed to have them on top of us. We're supposed to have them on top of us. So this is why we keep voting for people like Mitch McConnell, and and then we have black folk that we do have on top of us, like what's that man name? Um, what is that man name? I have he over South Carolina. Okay, he's black, but he does nothing for black people. James Claiborne, right? Claiborne, that's his name. Jim James Claiborne. Okay, he's a black man in South Carolina that looks to black people and don't do nothing for them. His area, look at the black areas. A whole lot of people, a whole lot of black folk that are in the Democratic Party. Okay, since we're so privileged, look at the areas. Their areas rug infested. Their areas are rat and roaches infested. Their areas are slums. And you want to tell me that you in office and you doing something for black people? Why is your area looking the worst? Why do you not keep your area clean? You have black constituents that are voting for you. Keep the area clean. They won't even come in there and keep the area clean. That's what I'm saying. We have got to stop this. We are putting black folk in office that's not doing anything for black people. They'll do something for immigrants. They do something for white folk. They'll fight for, just like you got this mayor in New York now. What's the black guy's name? The mayor in New York. And he's with his assistant, the black lady, the police chief or something in New York. They getting ready to start stop and frisk again, but they just calling it something else. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about black folk that look like us in this country that are still doing the bidding of white supremacy. I'm talking about Haitians, immigrants that's coming into this country that's still doing white folks bidding. They still have that white supremacy mindset. We have to be very careful the way we're thinking because we've been colonized for 400 years. We have got to get to the place where we are thinking about ourselves and how is it that we're going to free ourselves. Because enough is enough. You looking for Jim Crow Joe to do what for you when this man has shown you over the 7 years that he's been in office how he really feels about you. Look at the 84 crime bill. That dude been against black people since the beginning, and black folks voted for him and gave him the biggest office, the biggest seat that you could possibly give a person. and you gave it to a man that can't stand you, that hates you, and his history has shown you that he's hated you. It's just so amazing at how the worse people treat us, the most that we want to be around them. Jim Crow treated us like dogs and has forever. Clinton treated us like dogs and we love the Clintons. And they was the one that calling our children predators. These are the ones that have done the most harm to us. And the ones that have done the most harm to us is the ones that we go to and think, oh my God, we love them. Oh, they've done nothing but blah 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 for us. Clinton ain't done nothing for you. That if you really read, I have a book at home, The Masculinity of Black. Hold on, I'm gonna show you. I want you guys to read this book. And this is the book that I have. And I'm gonna tell you what, this book is the best book ever. This book, um, y'all need to read this book. Hold on, I'm getting ready to help you out. Hold on, y'all. Dang, let me get this book up because I want y'all to see this book. I want y'all to read this book. Hold on, you guys. And I'm gonna tell y'all after I come home about my trip and why I really came down here. I told y'all how every place I go, I'm gonna get some property, right? We're gonna talk about that. Everywhere I go, I'm going to St. Thomas next 2 weeks, no, 2 months. I'm gonna buy some property there. Okay, get ready to do an Airbnb here. So I keep telling y'all, if y'all stuck on America, y'all crazy. If you stuck on doing nothing but investing in America, y'all out your mind because you can go to other countries and get property, Airbnb in them out, and you guys can do really well in other countries. If you are on disability, yes, ex-cop New York's being dangerous to black. That's what I'm saying. Yes, thank you. Very dangerous. And I want to show you about this book, Understanding the Assault on the Manhood, and Black Masculinity. I want y'all to see that book by who? Wesley Muhammad. Y'all need to get that book. And that book talks a lot about the Clintons and how the Clintons really hurt people. They were smiling in your face, but all the time they was taking your place. Okay, because you guys know back in the day, Haiti was real. I mean, they was kind of, they wasn't so in poverty, right? But Clinton stuck his hand in the pot. They used to produce rice in Haiti, right? Ask any Haitian, they used to produce rice there, and they was giving it, serving the whole country. It was spreading it out to everybody, okay, in the whole country. That's how Haiti was making their money. Clinton came in there, stuck his hands in it, and contracted it out to different people. His brother-in-law in America and his brother-in-law that lived in Arkansas, and they started doing something with the rice, and then they started selling it to different people, and that's how Haiti lost their power. But people have to understand who the Clintons really were, and these are people that we really love, and we really adore the Clintons, and we always have like the Clintons, and these are people that have done the most harm to black people. But we don't see that. We fail to realize who do us the most harm because the ones that do us the most harm, we love them. We love the Clintons. We loved Obama, and he did absolutely nothing for black people. I'm just saying. So when people come to me and they tell me that we are privileged here, I look at them and I know they don't know what the hell y'all talking about. You must, and I tell them immediately. I say, you can't be from here because if you was from here, that wouldn't even come out your mouth. Because most black folk here in America, who's B1, we know we're not privileged. We know the game they playing. But you have so many black folk that don't even understand the game, that the government, the game that's being played on us, that we keep falling for it every time we vote. We keep falling for it every time we see a black person that's been vetted and chosen by them until you how dangerous the black person that's B1 is. And we'll go and look at the person that they giving you and will side with you and tell you, oh, this person you can trust. And we go and look at that person and we start trusting the person that they put in front of you instead of us finding our own. When are we going to pick our own politicians? When are we going to pick our own local mayors? When are we going to pick our own governors? When are we going to pick black folk that look like us and start voting for them? I think it's time for us to do that. There's some people on here that can run for mayor. When are you going to start running for mayor? And if you run for mayor, you need to have 3 other people, city council members that's going to back you. You can't run for city council and be B1 and all in white supremacy mindset on there. They're going to go against you every time. You have to run for mayor and have at least 3 other people, like city council members, that's going to back you. If you don't have some help, you can't do nothing by yourself, family. We can vote for mayor. We can run for mayor. We can run for city council, and we can change things locally. We can get reparations being a mayor. We can run for mayor and get reparations. That New York mayor, the dude, this ex-police officer, he can really change some things. But guess what? We voted him in because he was black, but not vetting him and understanding that he was an ex-police officer. And you know what? He's going to support them. You have to understand this. We gotta stop with this picking people, putting people in office that look like us instead of us really checking them out and saying, what do they really stand for? Candace Owens, if she run for something, you know black folk will vote for her, knowing that that lady don't care nothing about black men or black people, period. But we'll vote for her and we'll call her B1. We gotta learn to see the difference in B1 and who's not B1. You can't sit up here and hear a mindset of white supremacy, a black mindset of white supremacy who don't can't stand black men, and then they turn around, or who's dating a white woman, who's dating a white man, and see and call them B1. You cannot be B1 if you're dating a white woman. You're not B1. But when are we going to see the difference? When are we going to start vetting these people that they're putting in front of us? Because a lot of these black folk they put in front of us. Biden told me he getting ready to put a judge in one of the Supreme Court judges, right? And he said she's going to be black. Are you looking at these candidates that he's chosen to give you to put in your face to tell you that these are who I want you guys to put in office? Are you serious? These choices, some of these women, I think all of them except two are married to white men. So do you really think, and you know, when black folks start dating outside of their race, they start dating these white men, these white women, they begin to think like them. They begin to think white supremacy thoughts. They begin to be vetted, and they be hanging around their family members so long that they start thinking like them, and they start going against their own for them. But we're not understanding that. We're still looking at them, and we look at no. You can't put black folk over you that's married to white folk. They're not gonna have your best interests at heart, y'all. They're not gonna have your best interests at heart. But that's what you okay, brother Kari, I'm seeing that. We have to stop giving them permission. We give them passes all the time, but you won't get. I was on TikTok, and I've been going back and forth on TikTok. Y'all need to check my TikTok out. It's Hard Truths. I already put my TikTok in there. HARDTRUTHZ12 at Gmail. I mean, Hard Truths. That's my TikTok right there. Y'all need to check my TikTok out. But I'm gonna tell you what, I've been going back and forth because I've been checking these white black women that's sitting up there trying to they presenting these white men to us, talking about they better than all this crazy stuff. And I'm looking at these, and they call themselves B1 women, but they dating, they swirling. You ain't no B1, you swirling. What you talking about? How you gonna be a B1 swirling? And then you talking about these white snow cave beasts are your they better than your black men. Are you crazy? I don't understand that mentality. I'm still trying to understand that mentality. But I'm gonna tell you what, the messenger, it's a whole lot of black folks falling for this because okay, you have to understand, Biden give everybody else a bag, right? But he gave you a quarter with Maya Angelou on it, right? And you have some black folk tell me, oh my God, that's a start. That's a start of what? What is him giving you a coin with Maya Angelou's face on it? What is that doing for our black wealth? Everybody else got 30 million, 50 million dollars, got a bag. But we as black folk, TikTok is hot poisons filled with men. Yes, it is. But guess what? I got to stay on TikTok because I got to straighten these mammies out, and I'm on them. I am on them. I'm on them. Tanaya Marie. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I be on these mammies, honey. I be on them. They be giving, well, we be back and forth, back and forth. Because I'm going to tell you what, it's a lot of black women that swallow this Kool-Aid. You have to understand they hate black men. And you have to understand it's all about, remember driving Miss Daisy? Who was driving Miss Daisy? A black man, right? She was in the back. He was protecting her, right? A lot of these movies that they're coming up with are black men protecting white women. It's propaganda, it's mind control. Okay, they mess with your mind and trying to make you think that you got to protect them. So what are we doing? We swallowing the Kool-Aid and we're protecting them, and we're leaving our own women unprotected men. We got to do better. We got to turn off these TVs for one. Hebrews to Negroes have a TV show, and you have to understand this. Hebrews to Negroes, he has his own black broadcast. These are things that we need to be supporting. Hebrews, and I think it's to Negroes. I think that's how I'm pronouncing it. Hebrews. I think that's how you pronounce it. He has his own network. Those are the type of networks we need to be supporting. And this is what I'm saying. We won't support our own stuff like this. Michi X, she has her own network. Roku, she's doing her own thing too. We have to support our own that's coming out with new stuff. We have to turn off ABC, NBC, and CBS. We have to turn them off, and we have to start following our own. You guys, start following our B1s, Professor Truth on YouTube. Vicky Dillis. We have to start supporting. I'm not even that crazy about Taniq Nasheed. I don't see nothing B1 or FBA about him because I think he's an agent. I'm gonna tell you what, he has no support for black women. He has no support for black people. It's all about him. It's all about us growing his this, that, and the other. We have to understand people like that. We have to understand and stop being so brainwashed when we see a black face. Understand what are they really? What are we really supporting? What are we really supporting? We have to understand who's going to be black first. Those are the people that we have to vet. I have white folks just trying to follow me on TikTok. I don't want you following me. Dear white people, I don't want you following me. We have nothing in common. Don't come on my page commenting nothing because I don't care what you think. I had a white woman coming on my page talking about, I don't give a shit what you think about nothing. Don't come on my page talking about nothing because I don't want to hear it. I'm not one of them. I don't drink your Kool-Aid. You don't come over here and validate nothing. You don't come over here and tell me anything about me. You can't tell me nothing about being black. Just like I can't tell you nothing about being white, but I can tell you about our history, the history of what happened to us when we deal with y'all. We had a little girl on here on TikTok that her mom, and I don't know if y'all seen this one where the mom got mad. Well, the Spanish mom got mad because her little girl asked the black girl to come to her party, and the black girl's mom said no, and the little girl said why, and the mom said because I don't want you hanging out with her. The Spanish mom got mad, and I have to understand. I'm trying to help her to understand why. You're not understanding. You're not teaching your children why that mom said no to her daughter coming unattended to your party all night. Are you out of your mind? I would let my child go either because it's called we cannot trust y'all with our children. We've seen different things where the one teacher who's white had the little boy pulling dookie or whatever out of the toilet. He stopped at the toilet. She had him pulling that stuff out of the toilet with his hands. We seen another where a white daycare center. And this is y'all again. Stop sending our children to these white folks establishment thinking they're gonna get treated better, thinking they're gonna get better service. A whole lot of times I'm seeing a whole lot of high schools that's all white that we sending our kids to, and our kids are being tormented. Why do we still continue to do this? Why do we still continue to send our children to the white daycares, to the white high schools, and think the education is better? Stop doing that. We can come up with our own. The Xavier Institute is black in New York online. We can hook up with that. If you want a black school, we have black schools online that we can start participating with. We can start supporting, but we won't support them. We'll look at them and have everything to say, but then we want to complain when our children are being treated fairly in their establishments. When I hear that, I don't care. I don't want to hear it no more. I don't want to hear a black person come and saying, "Oh, my baby was treated this way." Well, I'm gonna ask you, what's in a white establishment? You tell me yes. I'm at the end of the conversation because my thing is, we've been telling you, you know these people, you've seen these people, you've vetted these people, you can see how they treat you every day, but you still will sit up here and continue trying to date them, trying to marry them, trying to mix and mingle, trying to invest with them, trying to do business with them, trying to go to their schools, trying to go to their daycares, trying to go to their churches. Are you out of your mind? What kind of white pastor tell you? How can he minister to you? They don't even know the Bible, that it was all black and it was to us. But you sitting up there letting a white pastor come to you telling you about the Bible. He don't know nothing. How he gonna tell you about a Bible when it wasn't even about him? God, I see so many white pastors that'll sit up here and tell you about the white Jews and fake Jews and tell you to bless a Jew. You bless a Jew, you're going to be blessed. And America been blessing them demons over there. And what's happening? Do you see what's happening to America? Ever since we've been blessing them since 1948, what's been happening to America? We have gone down, 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 right? And we still don't understand. Bless Israel, which is us, you're going to be blessed. And they think they talking about fake Jews. They think they're talking about fake Jews. They talking about them. You bless Israel, you gonna be blessed. That's what they're talking about. They're talking about Israel. They talking about me and you. But they gonna bless us, they curse us. God said, you curse, them, you curse us, you're gonna be cursed, right? But you have to understand also, they keep sin in our face, you guys. They keep us eating our pork. They keep us going against our natural lineages. They keep us going against our traditions, keep us going against our heritage and culture in order to keep us sinning against Yahshua. And that way, a lot of stuff keep happening to us here. And then you looking and saying, ain't no God. It's not about that. It's about you being obedient and doing what you're supposed to do. Because a lot of us shouldn't even be in America. Y'all should be trying to pack y'all stuff up to get out of America, visit other countries. Visit other countries. I switched my job so that I can do that. I had a good job. I made some nice money. I switched my job so that I can travel from state to state. How you think I'm in Mexico for 3 weeks? I'm getting ready to go to St. Thomas for a whole 2 weeks. And then I'm going to Africa for at least 4 months. How you think I'm doing it? Sometimes we have to get to a place where we switching stuff so that we can work abroad. We have to get to where we can work remotely so that I can work from anywhere. I have a national company that works nationwide. So I can go anywhere and work. So you have to understand, yes, I had to quit a government job to do that, but I don't care because I know my plan. I know where I'm going. I know what I'm trying to do. You understand what I'm saying? But my thing is, we have to, people here that's on disability, take your disability and go somewhere else. Take your disability and go and search out other countries where you can possibly get um, a Airbnb and pay maybe $600 a month for an Airbnb and or rent you an apartment. You have to think of how different ways for you to do this. We cannot sit in America knowing what God is getting ready to do to America. You black folk are in the way of him destroying America because y'all want to hold on to America for your dear life. You have to understand. I done came to Mexico and I'm telling you, prices here is just crazy cheap. Crazy cheap. Crazy cheap. I can get a whole meal for $3. You have to understand, it's not always about America. Sometimes God allows things to happen to us to wake us up, and we still holding on, just like I'm holding on to this pen. We holding on to America just like this for dear life. Why? You dying every day, and you still holding on to a country that hates you. You still sending your children to their military, and you know you're getting ready to go to war. And how I've seen black children signing up to the military even today. Are you crazy? Are you out of your damn mind? Don't we know they don't like us in there either? And you sending your children to fight another country for another country's freedom or over oil. Or a lot of times it's over oil. You ain't even fighting for another country's freedom because who cares? America don't care about your freedom, but you're going to fight for another country's oil. You're gonna risk your life. You're gonna risk your child's life to fight for oil in a country that don't even like you. In a country when half our men came back to, they hung them up in their service uniforms. But when they was in the service, they treated them like dogs. They treated the enemy better than they did black men in the service back in the day. And they probably do the same thing. Let me ask you a question, Bakari. You don't take it, can you um, invest it? Can you have a bank account or can you take your money and invest it and still spend it in another country? Can you do that? I do not have to be vaccinated. I do not have to be vaccinated. When I go home, leaving Mexico, I do have to take a COVID test before I get back home to America. But no, I'm not visiting any countries where I am having to be vaccinated. Um, did anybody hear about the UK thing where UK have told you guys, and it slipped into you? I can't even get on Facebook, you guys, because Facebook blocked me because I put some stuff on there about what the UK said, how about the vaccines, how the UK is suspending all vaccinations and not giving out vaccinations anymore because they're saying that it's damaging your immune system. Did anybody see that? I put that on Facebook, so I'm blocked for 30 days, so I'm not even able to go back on YouTube, Facebook for like 30 days. I don't care, but I'm fighting it because, and then some of my videos that I've been putting on Facebook, they're saying it's going against their um, rules. But everything on Facebook, when you talk about black truth, it's gonna go against their truth because they want to tell you, they want you to keep believing their lies that they've educated us and told us for how long they've told us about the white lies, and they want us to keep believing it. So when you go against the truth, their truth, which is not our truth, so when we put our truth out there, they call it hate speech. And then it bothers me when black folk, I talk about them snow bunnies, and black folks say, "Oh, you racist." What the hell you mean? I don't have no power over no group. You can only be racist if you have a group of people that I have power over, that I can change their lives from good to bad. That's not black folk, honey. So I cannot. I have no racism in my body. I might be a little prejudiced, but I ain't. I'm not a racist. I will, Miss Maria. I will. I will. I don't want. I love your first name, Tanaya. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I love your first name, but I just don't want to pronounce it wrong. So I'm gonna call you Maria. Okay. I don't want to. I don't want to mess your name up. It's such a beautiful name. But we as black people, we have to understand. See, lives like this should be full. But black folks, so I have come to believe that we won't get all of them. 2/3 gonna die, and this is God dividing the wheat from the tare right now. And we have some black folk that don't want the truth. They don't ever want the truth, and they have decided to stay asleep. So the ones that want to stay asleep on TikTok, I don't even bother. I say what I need to say. They want to go back and forth. Look, deuces, baby. I'm done arguing with you. I put it out there. You want to argue, you argue with yourself. Because I'm not here to argue with nobody. If you don't want the truth, you keep on with them snow bunnies. You keep on with them cave Neanderthals, and you will find out for yourself. Because I cannot force you to want truth, and I'm not going to. But I do appreciate everybody that came on this live. Since we so privileged now, I wish we was as privileged as some of these Haitians and Jamaicans and Caribbeans say that we are. I wish that we can come together and love on each other. They'll love on the white folk. They have such a white supremacy mindset. It bothers me because when are we going to come to the conclusion that black is black, no matter if you're from Caribbean? Just like that Peter Spencer, he was from, not if I'm not mistaken, look up Peter Spencer. He was from Haiti or Jamaica, and this is the dude that came over here and went hunting with five of his white friends. Okay, we call them friends. We don't even know the enemies. You keep calling enemies friends. I don't understand that. And then wonder why you end up dead. You keep marrying enemies and then wonder why you end up dead. You had a black girl that met a white guy on at the dating site. Went to his apartment. He gave her something. He called her. She lost consciousness. Stopped breathing. He called the police. Nothing happened to him. The girl dead, and he still ain't in jail. I'm just saying. But y'all go ahead and keep on risking your lives for these cave beasts. Go ahead and call them. Keep calling them friends. Because I seen I'm not, I am not one of them that's gonna drink that Kool-Aid. I am not gonna sit up here and take up for them and go against my own. And you have black folk that's seriously going against their own for them. But do you ever see them going against their own for you? We don't ever see another culture going against their own for us. Mexicans don't go against their own for you. White folk don't go against their own for you, but we'll go against our own for them. And then look to them. I've seen we were talking about critical race theory, right? And even on TikTok, you have a black guy coming on there talking about this is what critical race theory is. I'm like, dude, critical race theory is highly much needed in our black schools, in our white schools. Critical race theory is talking to us, is telling us about their history, is telling their children about their history, and they really want to stop us from talking about critical race theory because they want you as black people to forget because they know that we don't teach our children our history. So they know, okay, if we're not teaching our children, they're not going to teach our children. Our children are going to forget. So our children will learn the history that they want to tell us that happened about black people. And they don't want to call us slaves. They call us indentured servants now. You know that, right? I read a book that they call us indentured servants. How are we indentured servants? Tell us. But see, guess what? That narrative will pass if we're not raising our children, if we're not passing on our history, if not teaching our children, that history will pass, and they'll keep on telling us that we were indentured servants until we die off, the next generation die off, and they still teaching our children that we are indentured servants. So our children will believe that we're indentured servants and not slaves because they're not learning it in school. They're not teaching black history in school. We're not teaching it at home. So our children are forgetting. And this is why you got all this mixing and mingling going on. Because we're not teaching our children how dangerous they are. Because we've forgotten ourselves. My generation, we forgot. Because we was able to get our own car, we was able to get a home in the white neighborhood, we was able to get a business in the white hospital, we was able to send our children to the white schools. So we forgot how dangerous they are. But guess what? God is showing you. He started with Trump to show you how dangerous these devils are. And we still refusing to believe it. They've been dangerous. They never stopped being dangerous. But we forgot to continue teaching our children how dangerous they were because we was getting a pass and we was allowed to move in their neighborhoods. We was allowed to ride on their buses, and we were allowed to work in the white hospitals. We were allowed to. Okay, so we forgot. So I tell my daughters, please forgive me. I didn't forget because I moved to Arizona and I had to come from out of it. I said, I'm not raising my children like this. Black folk hated to be black folk in Arizona. There wasn't no black couples in Arizona. There's white couples, white and black couples in Arizona. All these mixed race babies in Arizona. I can't. Then these little white kids was talking about black folks so bad, our black children, and I'm like, where are we getting all this information from? But they didn't see anything wrong with it because we was giving them a pass to do it. No more passes. Stop giving them passes. You start calling them out on stuff that they're doing. Start calling them out on stuff. Stop giving them pass. We give them a pass for everything. No, they don't get no more passes. We're not giving you no passes. No, we go against our own for them. No, we're not doing that. I refuse to talk about R. Kelly. I refuse to talk about Bill Clinton. Bill Cosby. I refuse to talk about them. I'm not going against mine today. Have they gone against Harvey Weinstein? Had they gone against? Remember that one dude? He was a Senate person, or he put a lot of money into D.C. Washington senators and stuff. He's rich. He's a white guy, and all these black gay men were coming up dead. They would go to his house. He would pay them a certain amount of money, and he would make them do all of these drugs. And these black men was coming up dead, and they were being found in his house. He, he would pick up the black men. They called him something I can't remember. Somebody tell me who this man is. Yeah, I don't know who I'm talking about. But this dude just got arrested. Maybe I think a couple months ago. He just got arrested. What he was doing was picking up. Yes, Ed Buck. Yes. Do you know how long that dude been doing what he was doing? How many black men was found in his house and they would never arrest him because he was so rich? This is what happened to us. But see, this is the stuff that we fail to teach our children about. These people are dangerous, and they have shown us over years, for years and years, that they are dangerous. We fail to realize how dangerous they is. We want to keep calling them friends. You can't call people that do stuff like Ed Buck. All them gay men, black men was coming up missing in his house, and the police never brought him up on charges. It was one that got away, that talked about it. That's how they got started. That's how they got it. It was one man that he did like that. One, and then they got him for all the other murders, which was murders. He was murdering them in their house and getting away with it for years. For years. But guess what? They weren't talking about. They knew about him, but guess what? Those men were still going to his house because they thinking, "Oh, I can handle it. I could." No, stop. Why did nobody on the street know about this Ed Buck? Why nobody was talking about him? Why nobody was saying anything? Why? See, this is the stuff that happened in our communities that we don't say anything. Somebody, it should have been yelled to the mountaintop, just like Peter Spencer. 9 shots into his body, 9, and they called it self-defense. And those 5 individuals are walking free today because we not pressing the issue. Remember Ahmaud Arbery? It took 3 months to arrest them men, right? 3 months. Why wasn't they arrested? Why weren't they arrested? Remember the black sister that was in the midst of all these white girls, white women? She had a sleepover and came up dead. No charges. No charges. Even today. Nobody knew what happened. She was in somebody's home, woke up, she was on the front lawn, dead. And they said, oh, because she was, drinking a little bit and getting high, she probably fell off the balcony. No charges. But guess what? If that was me and I had one white woman at my house and there's 5 of my sisters there, would we still be out in jail? We would be in jail, right? Okay. Let's stop calling these devils enemies. I mean, friends. Let's stop it. Yes. Yes, they do. Yes. Maria, yes. Tanaya. I love that name. I love your name. I'm so serious. I'm telling you, yes. They only look out for each other. But guess what? Black LGBT will jump on the bandwagon. Remember when they went against come on, help me out. You know this comedian. What's the comedian name? Remember when they went against him? And the black comedians went. Oh, what was his name? What is the guy? Come on, help me out. Y'all know the comedian. But anyway, he, talking about the LGBT, and they got mad, and most of the black LGBTs got mad at him, and they was going all. I mean, they was going all out to shut down. What is that dude's name? Lord, Eddie Murphy friend. Come on, they all hang out. Eddie Murphy, they all hang out together. Yes. You favored me again tonight. Yes, Dave Chappelle. Yes. Okay, yes, that's him. Remember how all of the LGBT he said one little statement against them that really wasn't even a statement, wasn't it wasn't a lie, it was a true statement. He was talking about how the black and white LGBT is so divided, but they want it to seem like, but then he said one thing, and all of these black LGBT came against him, was trying to shut him down, and they was using the white ones was using the black LGBTs to go against their own brother. You see what I'm saying? This is stuff that pisses me off about us. They'll sit back and they'll have one black person that'll come against their own, and they'll sit back and let us bicker it out, and we go back and forth all the time. This is what they do. They throw the rock. A black person will catch the rock, and we throw it again, and we go against each other when they didn't threw the rock in the first place. They started this women's right. Remember the women's right back in the day when we was fine with our man. We had marriages. We was married. Women rights was doing what they want to do, right? It was white women. What we do? We got in there and started doing. We got in there and start fighting for the women rights, right? We didn't. That wasn't our fight. So a lot of this stuff is not our fight, but we making it our fight. We was cool with our man. So guess what? We stepped into the women's rights. Now what happened? We got no man. The women, white women, got the black ones and the white ones. They got all of them. And what we got? And when I hear a black woman tell me that I don't need a man, that bothers me. You need your support. You need your brothers, women, ladies. We need our men. I want y'all can tell that lie if you want to. I need my husband. I ain't gonna lie, I miss my husband. I've been away 3 months, 3 weeks. Okay, well, not quite. It'll be, mm, it's like a week and a half. But still, I was ready to go home 7 days. I'm like, huh, come on, you gotta come with me. Next trip, he gotta go with me. I'm serious, cause you gonna tell me I don't need my man? I need my man. Y'all can sit up there if you want to. I need my man. It bothers me when I hear black women say that we don't need our men. But yeah, you swirling for these, and you sitting up there, uh, you uplifting these white cave beasts. Are you serious? What's wrong with us? We are so lost. It's so sad. It hurts my heart because we won't listen. We continuously calling enemies friends. We fail to realize who the real enemy is, and we look into each other like we our own enemies. We fail to realize I'm not your enemy. I'm on these TikToks and I'm trying to tell you when you tell me who this white man is, blah blah blah. I'm like, sis, that's dangerous. Leave that alone. Dude, that's just like a drug. You see this new drug come out, and you hear somebody black talk about the drug, and you be like, girl, that drug ain't no good, blah blah blah. Either you had experience or you've known somebody that has dealt with that, and you trying to help them to understand that's dangerous. That's not good. Everything that look good, and they might have them, but guess what? You got some black men got some rocking bodies too. Okay, let's look at that. Let's look how good that is for you. That's a whole lot better for you than them cave buddies, honey. Them cave men, okay? Them snow cave men, them Neanderthals. I keep telling black folk that, but they get mad at me telling me I'm racist. How you racist when I'm trying to help you, sis? How am I racist when I'm trying to tell you how dangerous them demons are? How am I racist when I kind of remind you of their history? I'm reminding you of their history. You calling me racist? Are you calling them racist? Because it's their history. It's their history. But you want to come to me and say, "Oh, you racist? You don't like I'm bitter." How am I bitter? Because I'm trying to tell you about danger, but we're so confused. This is what we do. We'll go against our own. Here we go against our own to take up for a cave bunny or take up for a cave beast. This is what they do. This is what we do, which is sad. We got to stop. What is the black lady's name? What is her name? You guys, what's the black lady's name? 2020 found black dude hanging from a tree, and yeah, we still seeing him hanging from trees, and we still don't understand how dangerous these people are. I know y'all know who is the yes, Tamala. Yes, yes, Tamala Horsford. I did a show, you guys. I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago. Y'all check out my other YouTube videos and like and share. And y'all trying to get my numbers up to at least 400. You guys, I've been stuck at 300, 315 for a minute, right? But I want to get my numbers up because I'm telling you, we don't share this information. How are we gonna know? TikTok, I mean, YouTube will let it sit there. They'll let the stuff sit there because they already don't want y'all was talking about stuff like this. But I talked about this how we look at things when we die, and when police brutality happens to us, and they'll come up and say, make it seem like we needed to die. They'll say, oh, she had a knife, so and she died. And I hear black people say, well, she should have died. She shouldn't have had a knife. But I'm like, do y'all understand that every time they arrest one of theirs with a gun in hand, when they just shot up white monster, shot up a school, shot up somebody's home, or killed the whole family, they have knives and guns in hand and they live. Do y'all know that they have a shootout with police, and police won't fire one bullet on them? I've read about one man, he fired 200 shots at police officers, and guess what? He lived. But guess what? If that had been you, black man, and you shot at the police 200 rounds, you'd got 105 bullets put in your body, like the dude that was in who was that in the car, the black guy in New York. I think he was in the car, and think he had been drinking, so was asleep in his car, and had over 100 and some bullets in his body, and he was asleep. Didn't even hear them tell him, but he had a gun laying on his lap in New York. You better have a gun laying in your lap, sleep. And so he had a gun laying in his lap, but he wasn't shooting. He wasn't pointing it at anybody. He had it for his protection. And you know how many black folks said he should have died because he had a gun in his hand? He had a gun in his lap. Wasn't in his hand, it was in his lap. He was asleep. But you had black folk coming on the live saying, oh, he should have been shot because he had a gun on his lap. This is how mind boggle, how they mess with this with us, to make you believe that every time you do something, you deserve death. But then they can do whatever. They had a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. They had a shootout with police, and all you heard was, don't shoot them, don't hurt them, don't hurt them. That's all you heard on the video. Don't hurt them, don't hurt them. When it came to that 12-year-old and 14-year-old, okay? And they didn't shoot the 12-year-old, but they ended up shooting the girl. But that was just to stop her. They didn't shoot to kill like they did Tamir Rice. They didn't shoot to kill our 12-year-old Tamir Rice, who had a plastic gun with plastic bullets. They got out shooting 12 seconds, he was dead. 5 seconds, he was dead, right? But this 12 and 14-year-old white kids, they were able to have a shootout with police over an hour and still lived. I'm just saying. But we are so they have gotten us so brainwashed against each other that every time we do something, we think we're supposed to die, because that's how it ends up with us. We got to change the mentality. We have got to start rising up. I'm trying to see what you guys are talking about on here. Killed at Taco Bell, sleeping in his car, shot 50 times. Yep, yep. But that's also in New York too. I think he was a singer. He was a black singer or something. He was sleeping in his car, and they had shot him over 100 and some times. Look that one up tonight for me. Yep, Wendy's. Yep, he got out. Yep, I did a story on that. And guess what? Atlanta voted. This is what the white folk did in Atlanta. Paul Howard brought up charges against the officers with that Wendy's incident, right? White folk got a black woman that worked up under Paul Howard to run against Paul Howard. She got his position. The police was supporting her. Police, and not only was the police supporting her, but the police, the lawyer of the police that shot the guy. I'm trying to think of the guy, Rodney. I think that's his name. Rodney. Was it Rodney? Um, oh man, what was his name? I can't keep all these people. It's been so many of them. But anyway, they shot him. They ended up, the police officer that shot him, his attorney started giving money to the woman, Frances. It was it Frances, Frances somebody, Fannie Mae or Frances May or somebody. She ended up running against Paul Howard, a black woman, and won. But I kept telling them, y'all understand, this black woman, the police was supporting her. Don't put her in office. Keep Paul Howard in there so that we can allow Paul Howard to bring the charges and to finish what he started. She got in office. She won. She got in office. All charges against the police officer was dropped, which we knew it was because the police officer, the union, was supporting her. We have to understand, if you have a black person that's running and the police union is supporting them, that means that they are working for the police union. Black people don't understand that. We have to look and see who's supporting these black people that's running for these offices. If you have the police union or a white supremacy group that's supporting them, Why are you putting them in office? Because you already knew those charges went away, and that dude has just now went back to get his job back. Okay, so they denied him of getting his job back. He does still work as a police, but he's not a police officer. Okay, but he does like paperwork or whatever. But it's a shame that he got his job back and the charges were dropped. But every so many months he comes back to try to get his job back. So we have to understand what's really going on. Okay, but black folk fail to realize that when these people that they're putting in front of your face that they're supporting is not going to support black people. And this is what white folk are known for. Anytime they support a black person, that black person is not going to support black people. They know that all you have to do is offer us a dollar or a dime, and we will go against our own for a penny. We will. Y'all know that. We'll go against our own in a minute for a dollar. James Clyburn been in office for so long. Okay, I'm trying to stop talking. I'm reading the comments a little bit. I was trying to read the comments, but when I get off focus, when I start reading the comments, I get off focus. But we have to understand it is time for us to support us, you guys. That's all it comes down to. And we have to start recognizing the black faces, who to support and who not to. If you know that somebody is running for office, and you know, just like all of those women that Joe Biden has put up before us, all those judges, you know they're not going to do anything with black people. Just like Thomas. Remember Thomas, the black guy Thomas? Okay. Who's in office is one of those Supreme Court judges. I call him White Thomas, but he's black. Who's done nothing for black people. They're not going to do anything for us. These are friends of Joe Biden's. These are his coons. These are people that he has vetted. These are people that support him. These are people that he knows safe, and they're not going to come against black people. I'm sorry, they are going to come against black people. They're not going to come against him because they know he's safe. He know they're safe. But you guys, I did not want to be on here all day. I did want to come on here, and my main thought was, and you guys do realize what Mitch McConnell said was true, right? Did you hear that? Everybody was making a big deal out of what Mitch McConnell said about black people. We're not Americans. We're not citizens. They don't consider us as citizens. This is our country. We built this country. But guess what? They don't consider it your country. They, I told you they come to kill, steal, and destroy. Right? Everything that they touch. America was born out of what slavery. Everything that they got from us, our hard work and our right. But you have to understand, they took it. They took everything that we create. They take. They take. But we don't get mad about that. We don't get mad. We get them so many passes. They get a pass when it comes to us. They get a pass all the time. We go against ourselves all the time. Enough is enough. It is time for us, and I think we're coming up with a new political party. Bakari, I think you know about that political party. I think we are coming up with a new political party, and I think it's time for us to support us. I think it's time for us to support Be One and make sure that the new political party, that they're standing for black people. And we have to start voting for some of these people that are black, that's black one, and running for mayor, running for some of these city council offices. We have to start supporting this. You have one that is running against James Clyburn, okay? And he's a black guy, and he was on Fuel's show. And we need to look into him. We need to look at this. I was supporting him, and I had wrote him, but I don't believe I have his name. I had it, but I don't believe I have it now. But we've supported. We have to support people that we know this black first. We have to start supporting them. We have to start supporting them. But I'm so glad that you guys joined me today. That I wasn't sitting up here talking by myself to myself. But it's okay. Sometimes I'll come on live, and I'm here for another week and a half. So I'm gonna try to do some videos. But like I said, Facebook has blocked me. I'm in jail for a minute for Facebook. They hate my truth, so I'm kind of off of Facebook for a minute. So I do go on to what is the one that Voice Walking has? It's blog enough, blag enough. Okay, it's one that Voice Walking has, and it's the Mighty Networks, and it's one of his net in his blog enough BLAGGENUF, and that's what usually what I'm on blog enough. Okay, it's BLAGGENUF, and that's through. And I'm telling you, I wish that all black folk would come off of Facebook, because guess what? It's more of us than them on there. We support Facebook hands down. We support anything that somebody else has. Now this blog enough is black, and it's Dr. Boyce Watkins. It's his page, and it's blog enough, and we should go there and tell our stories. I don't know why we stick with Facebook, because every time I come on there, it's only within months I get shut down. Every so many months. I think one month I got shut down like 3 times. So we have to understand Facebook is not for us, and it's time for us to get our own platforms. And when you have people like Negro Hebrews to Negroes, and I think Michi X is coming out with her own platform. We have to start supporting them platforms. They're black platforms. Let's start supporting our own, you guys. We have to understand that we are trendsetters. We can make a difference in our communities if we put our mind to it. We're waiting for them to save us. We're waiting for them to do things for us. We can't wait for them. We have to do for ourselves. And until we get to the place where we're doing for ourselves, nothing is going to change. We're getting ready to vote again in 2024. And all this stuff that Biden has not done for black people, that devil gonna come up with something at the end to hoodwink black folk again. Watch in 2024 when it's or 2023 when it's time for us to vote again, and that new president or whenever where would we vote? 2024, 25. Okay, 2024 he gonna come up with some stuff, and we gonna forget that he didn't do nothing for you for the first 3 years, and then he waited to the last minute. Now he gonna do something for you, and we gonna vote the Democrats in there again. I don't know why. What is so hard about us going independently? Don't go for the Republicans. Don't go for Democrats. Why are we wasting time with them? We have to vote independently and vote locally. Locally, you can change anything you want. Mayors can bring in reparations for their cities. You guys do know that, right? So instead of us waiting for the president to do it, local mayors can do it for you. Governors can do it for you. So what are we waiting for? Let's do it. Let's make it happen. Family, I didn't want to be on here. I may come back a little later. I don't know. Just trying to. I got one coming up called Cinderella. I changed the date, so I'm trying to see if I'm gonna be able to come on live because, like I said, I have to come out because at the house, YouTube is not good. I don't know. It's how many? It's so many megabytes or whatever. Here it's different. I go on live and then it'll acting you start acting crazy. So my other live I had to delete it because it was so bad. It was so choppy. It was terrible. But thank you for joining me, you guys. Thank you so much for coming live with me. And we're going to do this again. But I want you guys to think about it. I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. You guys have to understand we are near war. We are at the door. I hope you got your extra food. Hope you got your extra. You got a lot of money in the bank. Take it out. Start investing that money in silver. Start investing that money if you little bit in cryptocurrencies. I start dabbling with that a little bit, and it is working out good for me. But you have to understand, cryptocurrency is attached to the stock market. So if the stock market go down, cryptocurrency goes down. You have to understand that. Start get your perishables, get your rice, get your beans, get your chili, get your water, get your toiletries. We need to be ready for what's coming. Get your generators. I have been selling generators. I'm still trying to get my find a nice company that's going to sell me the emergency kits for a little bit of nothing. A lot of emergency kits they're very expensive, but I don't want to get one that's going to cost too much. And then I know we can afford stuff, but um, we pay for what we will, right? But thank you so much, Miss Tanaya, for joining me. I appreciate everybody that came on this live, even the ones that's not going to see it, the ones that wasn't here on live, but that's going to watch it later on in the week. Be one family. Thank you for joining. I want you to like and share, hit the bell so you'll know when I come on again. And peace. Be safe out there. Keep your head on the swivel. And thank you again for everybody that joined. Peace, family.